example, when my CPU utilization exceeds 85% for more than 10 minutes on my servers, I run an agent procedure that I created that will automatically take a snapshot of all the processes that are running on the machine and send me an email. When I have that condition occur on my workstations, I'll often have that event cause an agent procedure to execute that collects additional information and just uploads it to the Kaseya server and associates it with a specific asset, so that I've got a history. If I'm getting a complaint that a machine has been slow, I can come in here and look at my monitor logs, and monitor logs will give me a history of things like, well, let's go to machine 2 has been on at least for some time today. This is CPU utilization, and in this case I believe I'm taking a snapshot every hour, so I can see if I'm sitting in a high CPU utilization for some period of time. And if I sat there for a duration that exceeds my threshold, I can have it take a snapshot, and I can come in here and look and see I was CPU bound this snapshot, these two instances, what was running at that point in time. I can look at available memory, and this can be a telling process. If I do this over, I don't know how many days I'll have history on this machine, but see this gradual decline in available memory oftentimes means you got an application running with a memory leak. Logical disk, looking at this over a period of 7 days or 30 days, I can see a pattern with which I'm losing disk space. So if I have a situation where I recognize that I'm getting low on disk space, I can look back in time and see whether or not there's a single event that has caused me to drop down, or if it was a gradual decline. And I can run reports that will spit these out over periods of or intervals that I want to be able to browse, because these can be very telling as to whether or not there is a pattern of events that are likely to lead to something I need to investigate. And I can tell at a glance without even having to read the report, just looking for that downward pattern. So the gaps you're going to see here in data is, since these performance logs are monitoring in real time, they're uploading in real time, and any time that the machine is offline, not collecting data or reporting data, they're going to go down to a collection threshold that shows no indication that data is being collected. So I can have additional monitor sets that will monitor system uptime, for example, so that I can get a sense as to how often this machine is online, or what the patterns are when it restarted, when it came back online, and I can go back as long as I want to in terms of how I've been measuring or managing this. I can have a start date of, in this case, September 10th. And then display some period of time going forward from there. So you've got a lot of flexibility in terms of how you can affect this information, and a lot of flexibility as it relates to what type of counter information you're collecting. We're essentially manipulating perfmon here, instructing it right down to an XML file, uploading that into Kaseya, putting it into our database, and rendering those graphics based on the information that's been collected. So there's a lot of creative ways to use it. Go ahead and spend some time looking through this monitor set section. We've got things for monitoring IIS, BlackBerry Enterprise Server, SQL Server. You can configure to monitor some number of specific connections to your SQL Server, which will probably need to be changed from the default settings. So don't be afraid to go in here and mess around with this and make up a list of questions. And once you've gotten a little bit of comfort here, you've acquired a number of different questions that you want to be able to get on the call with one of our engineers and have her answered for you, then we can book some time and get you started heading towards the next level. So I'm going to conclude with that. There is additional videos that may be shared with you related to other specific areas of Kaseya. The intention here, again, was just to kind of get you started and get you pointed in the right direction, and I look forward to working with each and all of you. Thank you.